on, Roblox drama! Having an event on Roblox without drama is like having the Terminator movie without Terminators, having Adopt Me without Cool Gerald 44, half angel, half demon, looking for a gal. It just doesn't mix. And the controversy today isn't around Ren Brightblade or even the literal intergalactic terrorist. It's about everyone's favorite character, yes, everyone's favorite character, AJ Striker. Just why does Team AJ Striker feel cheated? Do the other Metaverse champions have an advantage? And when are we gonna put all four into a battle arena Hunger Games style and have them duke it out to the death? Well, we've got the scoop to keep you in the loop. Let's get right into the drama. Everybody's 7th favorite Roblox event is here, and it kicked off with a bang. No, they didn't kill anyone. I saw some people discussing that on Reddit. And just like the beautiful yet short-lived boy band of Why Don't We, the Roblox Metaverse Champions ended up trending. In fact, it got trending on the Roblox App Store. Take that, Angry Birds. Finally, there's a new king in town. There's a new champion in Weenie Hut Jr. And the designers of the champions were proud as punch. They said on Twitter, "Oh wow, our recent work, Metaverse Champions, just got featured on Apple's App Store and Roblox's Instagram page. Cue in the next generation of Roblox users coming in to roleplay out their favorite fantasies. Like, oh no, I'm turning into half Sonic, half Among Us. Ah! But no, this wouldn't be a Roblox drama without the actual drama, so where's it at, Devown? Well, it's in handsome AJ Striker's beautiful face. And it turns out, AJ is an expensive man. The Roblox RTC reports on Twitter, drama! Many people are angry that Emergency Response Liberty County is paid for AJ Striker. They say that it makes the event not fair for those who want to complete AJ Striker, which is totally a fair point in my opinion. Why do we have to pay money to go into one of AJ's games and get his little drop crates when every single other champion is doing it for free out of the goodness of their hearts? But no, AJ wants his bucks. He needs his paycheck if he's gonna afford another bionic arm. But it's fine, Devown, you might say. You only need to do like 1 out of 40 different games to get like the week 1 crate. You don't need to choose Emergency Response Liberty County shooty games. You can go play Tank Warfare or Roleplay as AJ, whatever games they have there, Tower Defense. You don't need to worry about it. Well, that is true. I mean, if you're just going for like the weekly craze, yeah, you're all good as rain, you're good as sunshine. But remember, Roblox has a little competition going on to see who's like the most, who's gonna be the next face of Roblox. And whichever champion has the most crates collected all up gets the big old prize, and they get to release an item themed around them. And that's where the issue lies, because if AJ has a Robux big boys only game, only the greatest businessmen from Wall Street can play this game, well then it's gonna be -1 game to AJ Striker, and he's gonna sink through the polls as everybody runs around holding hands and playing hopscotch together with all the other champions. AJ's gonna be sitting there being like, why aren't people playing this crate? Why aren't people playing the expensive Robux game? And so there's less chance for AJ to win there, and that's where the controversy lies. We already have someone here saying, wait, what? I have to pay 125 Robux for a stupid chest on my head? No way. Not buying a stupid roleplay game, and I will add here, you can still get the chest by playing a different game. You don't have to play all 40 to get the chest. That would just be torture. But the developers of Emergency County Liberty Response, Emergency Response Liberty County are kind angels. They reduced the Robux price from 150 Robux down to 50, as the RTC says, in an attempt to make the game more accessible. I mean, I don't really think that'll do much, to be honest, because if you ain't spending 150 Robux on something, I don't think you're really gonna be spending 50 Robux for the same thing. It's not like you see, whoa, 100 Robux off! Oh, get me in on that one, baby! Like you're Karen at like Black Friday shopping. Some say this is an attempt to stop the controversy, but it's still not free. And you know, I gotta agree with them. I don't really think it does much. It is kind of nice of them though to reduce it, but you will come to find out, and I'll show you a tweet on this in a sec, that it isn't actually the developers' fault for this stuff. Like the developers, they don't really have control over it. I'm gonna pin the blame. It's like pin the tail on the donkey, but with the greatest blame of them all, the blame to ruin AJ Striker's chances access onto Roblox. Some people below are replying stuff like, sheesh, devs did a big oopsie by making it paid access. Those who have no Robux have been swiped from a chance to win because of certain paid access games. Emergency response, make your game free or everyone will hate you. LOL. I'm pretty sure the jailbreak drone already hates anything that's not jailbreak. The developers went to the big boys in charge themselves, Roblox, and was like, yo dudes, is it really okay for our game to be paid access and all that? And Roblox replied, yes, my child, it is totally fine. The community will absolutely still love you. Promptly followed by this message on Discord, which I found through the RTC. After more talks with Roblox staff, they've acknowledged it was an oversight on their part to not ask if games were paid access. I agree that this is something which should have been thought about. They've also said that they're trying to get people to understand that not every single one of the 180 games needs to be played, and a very small portion of players, if any, are completing every badge. The description of the hub has even been updated to mention this. Again, they repeated that our single game out of 180 is not affecting the outcome. The outcome is much more dependent on the level of difficulty for all other badges. And then they go on to talk about how you shouldn't harass them, and don't harass them, that's stupid, it turns you into something even worse than this event being paid for. Oh, Karen, yeah, you don't want to be that, do you, huh? But I think we need to focus our attention on something that Roblox said here. They repeated that our single game out of 180 is not affecting the outcome, which is interesting because when I first saw the original poll by the RTC asking, oh, who do you think's gonna win? Who are you gonna play for? Everyone was voting AJ Striker. But strangely, when we get into the actual game, the RTC reports status update. As of Saturday, April 17th, Sparks Kilowatt has over 1 million badges and is currently leading in first. What happened? Did Sparks suddenly call in her evil armies of Mordor full of angry little children ready to fight for Sparks Kilowatt, the beautiful robotic princess? Or was AJ taken into a back alley and had his legs beaten up and crippled in the event? We will take a look at that in a second, but first I do want to mention that AJ does have a couple of things going for him. Well, not really, probably only like 100 people did this, but apparently AJ Striker's games have been critiqued once again in the RTC, which is spreading around on this Game Pass on Tank Warfare. Many are comparing it to Tiny Tanks, where last year you could pay to increase your chances. Some say it's nitpicking, others disagree. And as you can see here, you could buy a crate radar on Tank Champions or whatever the game was called. And also, this wasn't the only game as well, because apparently Portal Rush had a 2x Crystals and Eggs Game Pass, and then SCP had a minigun Game Pass, which makes the game a lot easier, although that was there before the event, so I wouldn't really fault it for that. And you know, in general, I really don't mind having Game Passes to make the event easier, really. Like, only 20 people are gonna get it. You're not gonna buy it if you only have like 100 Robux, just like salivating at the mouth, making sure your champion will win on like every single alt account you have. Yet people aren't that invested. It's not that big a deal, really. It's not like they're just giving it out for free to every little 5-year-old who wants them. Like, this is Robux, and if you want to pay Robux real life money for it, I don't really care, because you're not really getting an advantage because other people can get the crate in a different game. And also with Tank Warfare and the SCP game, AJ needs all the help he can get. But back to the main question, because if AJ was voted #1 on the Twitter poll, #1 Krusty Krab Employee of the Year, then did this one game disadvantage result in him coming second place to Sparks Kilowatt rather than first place, which is what he should be? Here we go, we're in the game and we're at Sparks Kilowatt's little portal. And if we have a look here, 1,502,950 badges. Now, if we go to AJ Striker, we see he has 1,071,018 badges. Now, let's assume that AJ Striker has been absolutely crippled. I'm talking his legs beaten up, and he can only get 11 out of the 12 games. Again, because of Emergency Response Liberty County. So let's now apply that 1 out of 12 to AJ to get an approximation of where his votes would be if everyone also played Emergency Response Liberty County. So 1/12 of 1,071,075, and we get 89,256. And then if we add it onto that, we get 1,160,331.25. Someone's got chopped in a quarter. And what do you know? It's not enough at or to be able to beat the queen herself, Sparks Kilowatt. In fact, it didn't make much of a difference in general. I was assuming it'd be pretty close, but no, Sparks is just too far ahead. And remember, that's assuming that absolutely no one played Emergency Response Liberty County for the crate from AJ. In fact, a lot of this number would still be in here. Probably about like 30% of people who actually went and bought Liberty Response, and that's reflected in the total here. I think this actually goes to prove that it literally was just a silent majority of thousands of young Adopt Me gamers coming together, united under one umbrella, one world, one Sparks Kilowatt. And if you think about it, yeah, it kind of makes sense, because like so many people on Roblox are under the age of 13, and the Twitter requirements is that like you need to be 13 plus, so all the people voting on the poll were probably 13 plus, and that's not really what Sparks Kilowatt's very marketed towards, even though she's like my #1 champion. I know. I can totally see why she's winning, and I'd personally say that that clears AJ Striker in the Emergency Response Liberty County from any blame, because it wouldn't have really impacted the outcome, and that's really what matters. Unless you're going for a full like 180 game completion, which in that case, you're a madman, get away from me. But I would like to add that Roblox kind of worded it weirdly when they say the champion of your choice, if they win, you're gonna get the items, because when they say your choice, they don't mean our specific choice. We don't like vote on a champion, and if they win, then we get some special items. No, it's the entirety of Roblox's choice. Whichever champion gets the most chests, then an item is released for everyone to get. Everybody gets a special item if they participated in the event. There is no specific choose your champion. It's the entirety of Roblox who's choosing the champion by the crate number. And of course, yeah, this could make it completely biased by just like more popular games being given to a certain champion. Maybe Sparks Kilowatt had like the easiest game since she's marketed towards younger people, so the games are a lot easier, like Grandma's Obby and all that. But all in all, the gamers of Roblox, they're rising up and they're making their voices heard. They want Sparks Kilowatt as their queen, and they want whatever item comes with Sparks Kilowatt, maybe those banger glasses. And I'm willing to forgive any oof-ups that happened during the event, because this is such a massive event. Of course that sort of stuff is bound to happen. So all in all, I still think this is an absolutely amazing event going on. And the bad stuff, the drama that happened, just like with one game being Robux and then a couple of game passes to help with the treasure chest hunt, I don't really think they're that bad in general, because they didn't really influence the results at all. It's still Sparks Kilowatt in #1. I think we should just enjoy the event for what it is. Roblox's 9th best event on Roblox. Yes, beautiful. That's a joke. I don't know. I'd probably put it like my top 3, top 4, top 5. But what do you think about this, everybody? What do you think about Emergency Response Liberty County being paid for Robux? Do you think that this did have a greater impact than I calculated with my mega brain game theory style? Or do you think, yeah, I mean, Sparks is still gonna win. I bet you were excited, huh? Statistics say that since Sparks is in first place, the majority of you prefer Sparks Kilowatt. I bet you're squealing in joy right now. I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye.